Hey, James. How are you?
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I'm kind of getting back to you because I came across a demo tape. This it was the D sharp misfitting the Vespers. Do you remember that one?
What does it sound like?
I mean, I would say it's probably like 1994 type, soulful hook type hip hop stuff. I mean, I kind of remember D sharp from probably around like 93 or so 94. The thing that kind of got me was that I'm not sure if it was a dub, because you know how the old basement tapes came together and like the stuff that everyone was working on, but there'd be some session work and then there was more like freestyle stuff at the end. And there's some stuff that has you doing freestyles, and it seems like it might have been like after actually recording the tracks that things kind of loosened up.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't,
I don't know if I've heard it.
okay. Well, I'm kind of going through and getting together some of those tracks. I don't know how things have gone with you as far as like the stuff you've posted. I keep track of a lot of the activity on, the talk about those demos that you were working on, and a lot of people out there seem to, if you look at the forums and what people say, fans, a lot of people will still say that Chaos Kid's the better MC. I mean, have you seen that stuff?
Talking about Yes Kid's a better MC than who?
Well, as far as like in with the basement stuff with you and Marshall,
Really?
yeah. And I don't know if you keep track of it's because that was what, maybe a year or more ago that you posted a lot of those demos.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that stuff.
Okay,
It's never about competition to me, you know? I
right.
mean, I, I think that there's definitely value in, um, doing your best to put out quality work. Um, but, it's, I don't know, I mean, that's cool. It's, it's flattering, that some people would think that the Chaos Kid stuff, at least back then, that had fans or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, it's kind of, it's just kind of like why is it got to be about, well, he's better, he's not, It's like,
Well, I think it's a lot of people who are still fans, because there's kids who got into Eminem who might not have been familiar with a lot of old school hip hop or things that had gone before, and then they start getting into like the '90s stuff and the things that came out when we were in high school, the positive vibe type, and I think they're probably responding more to that kind of style, just and
right.
recognizing that
And
we're,
that's cool though that you found something that I probably haven't heard.
well, yeah, I mean, there's that, and then the other thing that came up here is that because I've got that Culture of None website, and every so often, a month will go by, and then I'll hear from someone about the old basement stuff, and someone said that they have this guy says he's got a tape, an original basement hand dubbed demo tape. This guy says he's got a tape, an original basement hand dubbed demo tape. And he says the tracks that are on it are Smoke Crack on the Mic, Passing
Oh,
Out.
I think that was just Marshall on that one.
Well, yeah, he was naming the Eminem tracks, but he said there's two tracks on the tape from you as well.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna see.
Which are what? Like,
Well, I don't know. That's I mean I was trying. I wanted to see if you remembered that
or
tape.
whatever. Well, I mean, did he at least like, did he give any reference to the content of the Chaos Kid tracks or?
No, I mean this is. See, I mean like my post was because I had the fattest skinny kid alive and a bit of the stepping up onto the scene track, and I shared those because I didn't hear them anywhere else, and I didn't see anyone else who. I mean, it's a weird thing with collectibles. People think, even this guy, I told him, I said, if you have some songs that are old demos, the best, the wisest thing to do is convert them into MP3s and share them. And he was like, well, I got money invested in this demo tape, and it diminishes the value of the original if I share them. And I completely disagree with that. I mean, the original stuff is still worth something as a collectible. If you had a hand-dubbed tape by Led Zeppelin from, when they first recorded their songs at home, it would be worth something as the original. People aren't really concerned what's on it to listen to it. I mean, the content is the same regardless.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you have his contact info, that'd be awesome, man. I'd appreciate it. I might, I'll look that up in the future here. I don't know if it's right away, but I'll might as well contact him soon, I guess.
I mean, where do you stand on the situation right now? Like, what kind of feedback have you gotten on the demo tracks you shared?
Well, I mean, I haven't really got a lot of feedback or paid attention to it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's I'm trying to do what God wants me to do at this point in my life. Like everything that I do is based on that.
Well, I mean, when you were doing stuff before, I mean, were you in charge of it? Who was in charge of, or who guided your decisions before?
Well, I'm just saying that, God reveals things to us at different times in our lives, and sometimes changes the course of our direction,
Mm-hmm.
And so, that was, I mean, when you're young and you're spirited and, as far as just, I don't know, this is a philosophical sort of question, huh? I mean,
well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess, if you feel that you're at this point doing what God wants you to do, or you're at least in tune with that, I mean,
I'm in tune with it, and I'm also trying my hardest to keep listening in the moment, because life is a movement, so to speak. I mean, passing through time. So it's like trying to hear as well as I can.
I mean, do you think there's a place for your the stuff you did with Basement Productions and your older material? Is there a place for that in your life now?
Well, I mean, that stuff is what it is. What place do you think it should hold?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it's something you did. I mean, it's an evidence of your talent and your history of doing something I think is important, because there's people who are still interested in. I keep it, like I said, I keep an eye on this kind of thing as a fan of that era and as a fan of Chaos Kid and the history of this stuff. I mean, I like all that history more than anything I've heard come out of Eminem recently. I mean, I've heard Recovery, I've heard what was the other one? Rehab. I've heard that stuff,
right.
And I think it's interesting as what's happened over the years, but just, apart from lyrically and the skill of his rhyming, I don't think it's the kind of thing that in a time machine someone would listen to and say, wow, that's really remarkable, amazing art, sonic art. I don't think it's something that someone historically would look back and say that's an amazing thing. I think.
You mean as far as what stuff?
Any of the recent albums. I mean, there's
any of the recent stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, just thinking of Recovery. I mean, there were a few tracks that I said, there's one Fire. That track I thought was interesting, but I don't think if you only heard Fire, you would, or at least I wouldn't say that the Eminem history is necessarily worth really investigating. I mean, you got in contact, or at least put out that letter, regarding the Beautiful video, and then that, what was it, the letter to Detroit, love letter to Detroit. I mean, I remember, reading.
Well, I responded to that, yeah.
Yeah, and that whole everything you wrote is being shared. People are posting that on forums, and fans are sharing that and talking about it. And you might have been involved in a few cases, responding to people, but there's a lot of talk about what's going on or what the history might have been, or where things are between you and Marshall now. And I know it's something we've talked about, but
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it's a conversation people are having.
There's some questions, and there's some things that I'd like to share with you. There's some questions I'd like to ask you too.
Sure.
But I want to, I mean, it's been a while since we talked, so I want it to be, and I'm glad that we're talking, so I want it to be open to, hearing what questions that you had for me and what you wanted to talk about also. So.
Well, I mean, it was mainly just to get a sense of, where things are for you now. Since I don't know if you're still active on Twitter, and I know Santiago Jubilee's been quiet for a long time.
No, I'm not. I'm not active on Twitter or Facebook really right now. I mean, I post things on Facebook once in a while, but I'm trying to. I feel like the last couple of years has been a great learning experience for me. Just the whole process of, engaging so intensively in online activity, and I really I'm trying to take what I've learned from that experience and create something that has a little more backbone to it before I re-enter into that realm fully again.
You mean going online and being a little more public and that sort of thing?
Right. So yeah, I mean that's basically where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I'm just saying it's like that being true. If you say it's the case, while you're not active, as a participant in this stuff, there are these conversations going on, and
gossip.
Well, I mean, it's not really gossip. I mean, it's the thing about the internet is it allows people an immediate means of expressing an opinion, whether it's a good opinion, whether it's a justified opinion, whether it's a ridiculous, uninformed opinion. It allows everyone an even playing field. It gives everyone an opportunity to put something forth. And
right.
Unfortunately,
I mean, but this being an artist. I mean, that, or just trying to do any productive work. That sometimes, it requires. I mean, in order to make something, you have to make time for it. So
sure,
it requires you putting that time into it. Just like artists have to say, okay, well, it's time for the next album, and they kind of disappear from the public for a little while, a little bit more. So then, than they are when they're touring or promoting the record. It's kind of like that's where I'm at with things. It's like I'm just a season of trying to piece everything together and bring forth some fruit from the experience.
When we talked last, or around that time, you had said that you did get in contact with Marshall. I don't know if it was related to the stuff you'd posted or shared, but I mean, what was your sense of like the tone of things at that point? I mean, what do you think his feelings are like right now? I mean, if you could say that you have a sense of what's going on between the two of you, because I mean, it's almost like it's like you have said before that it's like if the non-communication is kind of a communication. It's like what do you think is happening, or what are your thoughts?
Okay, well, I'll answer that question. Before I answer that question, can I ask you, do you believe in God?